Today I'm going to show you a video that you will probably think 100% right off the rip is a justifiable self-defense situation. But then when I provide the context, you may actually see this video in a little bit different light. And that's what I'm going to try to show you, is that, first of all, how important context is. And sometimes you get these viral videos that we're about to look at that instantly trigger a response in people to take one side over the other. But again, not to justify any of this, but to tell you sometimes there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and you'll start to pick up on some of that once I provide the context in this video. Now, of course, I'm going to give you my opinion, whether I think it would be a justified self-defense situation with a firearm or not. So I'll give you my opinion, leave yours down below after the video. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to kind of simplify this story that's going on behind the scenes. But before we get to that, let me show you the initial video.
Trouble?
No.
You're gonna be.
Why?
You're gonna be in a hospital if you don't get out of here.
No, you can't bring a weapon out on me.
Yes, I can, because I have one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get the out of here. Get!
What's your name?
Dennis Tissington.
Dennis
Get the out of here.
Kissington.
Yes. Get out of here.
You're going to jail, bud.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, you are.
Get out of here.
So you're probably thinking what I was thinking. The balls of this old man to break not one, but two windows out, talk about he can't go to jail because he's too old for that. Just unbelievable. Now, this happened up in Canada. It didn't get to a situation where, you know, somebody drew a gun or anything like that. And of course, they have way different laws when it comes to stuff like that. If they become the 51st state, well, hopefully those rights will be extended to them. They would then at that point. But until then, that is not the case. But let's just assume it happened right here. And I like to put myself in these situations, and I'm sure you do too. What the hell would I do in that situation? But let's provide the context first. There's three characters I want to talk about here. The guy holding the phone, who is a part of All-in-One Landscaping. The old man, who is Dennis Kensington, or Kissington actually. And then you have Tyler, who is the guy that you see when All-in-One Landscaping. His name is Damien, by the way. I think he's the son of the owner of All-in-One. Like I said, it can get kind of complicated. But Tyler is the guy you see when he passes by that last time there. So he's actually a neighbor to the people that All-in-One started working for. So All-in-One was contracted to do a bunch of work for Tyler's neighbor. At the time Tyler was getting work done for himself, he actually had some concrete that was being laid. Well, apparently, supposedly, All-in-One, and this, I think this is actual factual, All-in-One hit a gas line. So the entire subdivision had to be evacuated, right? Well, in the process of that, the concrete couldn't be finished because I guess it had started to dry. So All-in-One agreed to pay for decorative repairs for that job. Now, those repairs ended up costing over $6,000, but still they ended up paying for that. Well, supposedly All-in-One kept harassing Tyler and his neighbor over money that was owed to them. The claim was that Tyler got this money, but he never fixed his concrete. All-in-One wanted the money back. And then All-in-One got to the point of harassing them so much that they went and destroyed part of the job that they had done for the neighbors previously. Now, according to Tyler, this actually went on for 2 years. So they came up with a plan. These guys keep harassing us. If they come back over, I'm gonna call the police and I'm gonna call some family just to back us up. That's exactly what they did. We see Damien, All-in-One Landscaping, or associated with All-in-One, in the middle of the road. It's on a public road, by the way, but still, he's sitting out in front of the house. Why is he just sitting there? It's kind of interesting. Well, we see the old man approach him then, and instantly this looks threatening. But the problem is that's not the full context, because I found a video where All-in-One responded to these claims. They actually showed receipts for the $6,000 that they paid to PrepTech to pay for the decorative repairs, whatever the hell that was. It was an expensive decorative repair for that concrete. But there was also a claim that they had to pay $30,000 to the gas company for the damages. They showed the receipt from the gas company, which came out to like a little over $3,000. They said that the claims of them having a restraining order put against them from Tyler and harassment and all of that was actually totally bogus. It was all lies. So you have both sides where this kind of gets complicated and convoluted, and there's a lot of different characters, and the timeline stretches on for a couple of years until it all explodes into this moment that we see in the video. Now, the facts as I see them are All-in-One did have 2 employees that were kind of negligent. They caused some damage, and they show receipts that they paid for the damage to the gas company and to the homeowner, Tyler, for concrete, that decorative repair. Also, Dennis Kensington, the old man, actually ended up getting charged, but it was like a misdemeanor type of charge. It wasn't anything serious. Now, what happened from here, I honestly don't know. You really can't find a lot, and that's the problem. You get kind of just like the action part of the story, and unless people care enough to share it after that, then, you probably through a lot of digging I could find the rest of the story. At this point, it doesn't matter. You have a complicated relationship that turned sour. One side said that these people were harassing them. The other side said, no, we weren't. So what can we draw from this actual situation, though? Well, the first thing that I see, and I think this was kind of a good point, is in All-in-One's response video, they said that Damien decided not to drive away because they didn't want Tyler and the old man to make a claim that he was trying to run them over. That's actually pretty smart, right? I don't know if it's the truth or not. These are kind of all claims at this point, as far as I know. But either way, that is kind of smart. I can totally see that. Now, another thing that the old man says in the video is that, aren't you in enough trouble already?
Aren't you in enough trouble?
No.
Is this referring to the harassment charges or to a restraining order? I'm not sure, but obviously you can tell at that moment that there's something that the old man knows about the guy recording, and whether it's one of those two things or something else, we really don't know. But that gives us a clue as to, the fact these guys have had dealings before, or the old man knows about the dealings between him and his stepson, Tyler. Either way, it establishes some history. The problem is when he pulls this weapon out. If we pretended, right, that it happened in America, at that point, a jury would probably look at it and probably say, you should have drove away. When the old man got up to your door, you kind of cleared him, right, of any kind of wrongdoing, or just keep recording maybe, but you should have probably just got yourself out of there because you didn't really have to be there any longer. But then he breaks the window, and so that's when you could say, right, that, hey, I'm not going to leave the scene of this crime now. I was trying to stay here. I didn't want to run the guy over. He gave me just a few seconds, and then he broke the window. Would he be justified in that situation? Now, again, this is just my opinion and what I know from self-defense situations. Anywhere you have the right to be in a stand your ground state, at this point, when he broke that window, I'd say he'd probably be justified, assuming that there wasn't a restraining order that was already placed against him. Because, again, that's under the assumption that you have the right to be in that place. A jury may look at that and say, even though you were on a public street, you were sitting out in front of their home. How long was he sitting there? Again, we don't really know. So a jury may say, well, you really shouldn't have been there in the first place, so you didn't have the right to be there. That would be for them to determine. Then he breaks another window. At that point, of course, then he drives away. So would this be justified? I would say you'd have a better chance in a stand your ground state. I think the biggest thing here, though, is not whether it would be justified or not, because I think it probably could in some situations. Again, depending on jury, you're going to leave it up to them. But in this situation, this is one of those ones where you try to avoid the situation all the way around. I don't know what he was doing there. I don't know if he thinks he was maybe collecting money or if he was going to talk to a neighbor. We really don't know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look like he necessarily had to be there. And so I would say at that point, don't put yourself in that situation, because now you're leaving the judgment up to 12 peers of yours. And while sometimes I think that may be totally justified, because Anytime you pull your gun in self-defense, there's always legalities that will probably come from that. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to make the best decision for you and your family to keep yourself safe. But if you're in a situation or a place where you really probably shouldn't be or don't have to be, and you're putting yourself there anyways, probably not the best call. So more of an avoidance situation. Fortunately, in this case, it didn't get to that point, but there's a lot going on here. And so again, you know, watch the video one more time and you'll see that you probably have a little bit different perspective on what actually happened here. So that's my opinion. I'd love to get yours, of course. Let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold it down.